just disheartened that there's a better product out there that they could offer. If it was my company that I bought, which obviously that's what's happened, I would have at least made an offer. Hey, here is my cost. This is what it would cost me to replace your gutters with the new style, with the new machine, labor free. We'll install this because, in my mind, my business that I bought is going to continue to pay for people to come clean these gutters that are defective. So over time, that labor cost would be recouped, in my mind, if the homeowner was willing to, hey, it's going to be $1,500 cost. We'll eat the labor. And that would be something that I would entertain. But that offer wasn't made. We remodeled the house. I fell in love with the concept of this gutter. Didn't do a lot of research on the gutter, which, okay, that falls on me. However, I had gutter helmets that were the same principle. They just covered an existing normal gutter. The concept of this gutter is it's all one piece and it looks better. So the aesthetics was what I was after. So to try and be brief, which I don't know if it's possible, we went ahead and had the sales rep over, and yeah, it was, I didn't like their sales tactics, but yet I wanted this going into it. So we worked out a price. They tried to overcharge me. I got them down. I could see their pressure tactics, so it was bad from the get go, and I should have backed out. But there again, I wanted the aesthetics, and I didn't do enough research to find out if there were issues. So the issues started shortly after installation, that there's a gap between the top of the gutter and the bottom of the gutter that grew larger, and it was ugly. After a few complaints, after a clog or two, they replaced about half the gutters on the house because the gap grew too wide and it just looked bad. Then, as time went by, those gutters did the same thing and they would clog. The more the gap would open, the more it would allow things to get inside the gutter. So it clogged, they'd come and clean it, and it would clog, and they would come and clean it. So a couple of years have gone by now, or more than that. It's been 5 years since I had them installed to this day. Anyway, last year they came back out, and one of their service reps said, well, these gutters need to be replaced because they don't use that machine anymore. That machine was defective, didn't put out a good product. They've changed that machine. I said, okay. Next thing you know, his boss says, no, we're not going to replace the gutters with the new style or with the new machine because your 2-year workmanship warranty is over. However, we will continue to clean the gutters and honor our guarantee. Well, unbeknownst to us, or probably the world, this company had been sold at least once or twice in this process. So the guy that's now helping me or trying to help me uh, was not going to replace the gutters at his cost. So, okay, then we move on. He said, what we can do is get these clips, and we'll put these clips on that will help close that gap. Should have them in a couple of weeks. 6 to 8 weeks later, finally get the clips. They finally install them. They help somewhat. They have clogged. Now, to their credit, they do come out and clean them, but that's not why I bought the gutters. Clog free. I bought them for the look and that I would never have to have a worry of a clog again. And they continue to clog. Are they as bad now as they were before they put the clips on? Time will tell. It's only been a few months. So fall is coming in the Midwest. Stuff is going to be falling from the trees. Springtime is a really bad time as well with the oak trees in the neighborhood because the things that drop from the trees are smaller and they get inside there. The biggest thing is it was a defective product from the start, and they knew that. And there's other companies out there that have similar products that also know this, and they're using that as for their sales to get people to buy theirs. I've already looked into replacing my gutters, but again, the people that apparently own the company now didn't own the company when I bought the gutters.
Yeah, all these times that the company reps have been coming to your house to clean the gutters, what can you say about the work that they have been doing and the attitude that they had? Were they helpful? Did they try to charge you for it? Did they say anything to you? How did they behave?
When they first replaced about 50% of the gutters, the supervisor kind of had a little bit of an attitude. And if I remember right, the supervisor that had the attitude was also the salesman at the time that I bought them prior. So he had been promoted. Don't know if he remembered me or not. I remembered him. Don't remember his name, but whatever. The workers seemed to be okay. Once or twice when they cleaned them out, they left my hose out, the garden hose. I'm thinking, made the comment to my wife, shouldn't they have their own garden hose? You know, and if they use ours, shouldn't they put it back? Um, Most of the time when they're here cleaning, we weren't here. So, and then the last couple of times they have been, but there again, that wasn't the original owners either. So,
If we look at your experience with, obviously, you have the gutters, you just clean them, you get all this information. So if I understand you correctly, you would like to give it time, at least for the time being while it's fall out. And then when fall passes, you'll see what you're gonna do, right, Jim? That's the plan.
well, it'll probably wait till after spring because, like I said, spring is a pretty bad time as well. They put these clips on, you know, but when it starts pouring out of the front of the gutter and the downspouts clog up, there's an issue. So we'll see what the fall has to offer. We'll see what the springtime has to offer, which can be a pretty bad time with pin oaks, and we have a lot of pin oaks in the neighborhood. Um, to me, yeah, the little stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The little oak moss they call it. It gets in there and it just creates a dam. But anyway, just disheartened that there's a better product out there that they could offer. If it was my company, you know, that I bought, which obviously that's what's happened, I would have at least made an offer. Hey, here is my cost. This is what it would cost me to replace your gutters with the new style, with the new machine, labor free. We'll install this because, in my mind, my business that I bought is going to continue to pay for people to come clean these gutters that are defective. So over time, that labor cost would be recouped in my mind if the homeowner was willing to, hey, it's going to be $1,500 cost. We'll eat the labor. And that would be something that I would entertain. But that offer wasn't made.
Well, Jim, let me ask you this, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little bit personal here, but it seems like there are several issues, some are bigger, some are smaller, that you're experiencing with this company. But if we look at all of them, what would you say upsets you the most about the business practices of Leaf Gutter?
Initially, it's going to be the quality of the original product, without question, and everything else is just exacerbates the issue.
I mean, you get one.
You get one attitude, you get one service guy says, this whole thing needs to be replaced, and and I understand their position, but you know, legally he was not bound to replace my gutters. So what recourse do I have? None. You know, it is what it is, and I'm not going to say I'm going to throw the blame on myself because I didn't do due diligence and research it more. I mean, it was something that I wanted. I mean, it was something that I liked the way it looked, but it was it was marketed in a way that was deceitful.